Lacey, and today I'm going to be doing a mock deck tech on blue, black fairies, and I'm so excited. This video was actually basically for all the upcoming deck techs that I do. If you follow me on Twitter, I do a poll and I ask them what decks do you want to see that are upcoming. So if there are any decks, then you want to know what I'm going to do soon. I'm going to do them all eventually. It's just a matter of when I'm going to do them. I'm really excited about this because this is just so much control in it, and I've been doing a lot of mid-range decks which don't have as much removal, don't have as many counter spells and things like that, so I'm very excited to be doing this video because it has a ton of removal in it and I'm super excited about that. And it's just fun. There's some really cool stuff in here. This is a really fun archetype and I really like it, so also too, and I say this in all my mock deck techs, is one, this is for the purpose of filming the video, that's why I built the deck. It will be listed in the description bar below if you want to check it out. I don't plan on building this deck, so if you talk about tweaks, I'm not going to tweak this deck, it is what it is. I'm not going to build it. And the second thing is I do very non-traditional stuff with decks because I think net decking is really lame and I like throwing in my own twist. So if you're here for a traditional deck, you're in the wrong place. Okay, cool, let's get into it. So, for the mana beast, I don't like to spend too much time talking about the mana beast, but I do want to talk about a couple of notable cards. First and foremost is Creeping Tar Pit, which is a very important card in this deck. This card is just really, really good. It's a very great manland. I love the fact that it's unblockable for only 3 mana, so I guess you're technically tapping 4 mana for it to get it, but it becomes a 3/2 elemental and it's unblockable. This card is just really good. You're going to see this in every blue-black fairies list. It's a very strong card. It's a really great creature. Okay. Then I'm throwing in 2 Dismal Backwaters, and I know this looks like a really weird card, and as I was looking through this deck because I built it a couple weeks ago, I was like, why do I put this card in here? And then I was like, oh right, I forgot because of losing life. And you can go very much to the late game, and when you're running Bitter Blossom, which I am running, you are going to be losing life with that card, so I think it's very important to have a little bit of life gain in there, not that much, but just a little bit, so those little bit of points of damage can potentially help. So yeah, I like it. And the last card I want to talk about is Mutavault. Really, really good card. I'm only running 3 in this build. You'll see a lot with 4. I think you could easily get away with 4. It depends on what your mana base is looking like and what your, what's going on with that. But I like Mutavault. It's a really good card. It's a really good land. Okay, cool. Then we talk about the creatures. There are 7. The first, I had to throw in just a lot of spice because I'm a spicy person. Una, Queen of the Fae. Love this card. Love, love, love her. She's one of, she's in Ladies and she's just a house. I mean, straight up. She's a great creature. This is a card that you'll probably sideboard out in some games depending on the matchup, but guys, I mean, I've done a card focus on her. I'm not going to spend that much time talking about her, but she's a 6 mana 5/5. Love the option for blue or black, which is really great if you're struggling on colors. She's got flying. You choose a creature, they exile that many cards. For this in the late game is just nuts because you can exile 10 cards or whatever, and then they, you get the fairies if they get the chosen color. So in a matchup like Tron or whatever, but you know what guys, even if you don't get those tokens, exiling cards from your opponent's deck is just really great. She's just such a late game bomb. She's one of the cards that you really want in a late game. I couldn't resist throwing her in here. She's just such a fun creature. Okay, 4 of Snapcaster Mage. Do I need to say anything about this? No, didn't think so. 2 Vendilion Clique. I'm a person who doesn't really like to run more than 2 Vendilion Cliques. I feel very strongly about this because it's a legendary creature, so you can't have more of them on board. It's a 3/1 flyer with flash, which is awesome. This is just access to information, straight up. I mean, if you want them to pitch 1 card away, you can. They get to draw a card, but honestly, just knowing what is in their hand is just very crucial. You'll see a lot of times when you're playing against a control matchup, people think very long and hard on Vendilion Clique if you can keep their hand or not, because the thing is that you may pitch away a card, but then they gain a card and you don't know what card they gain. And sometimes that little bit of slip of information can be very, very crucial. So Vendilion Clique is just a card straight up about information, and then after it does its job, it's a 3/1 flyer with flash, and it's also got flash. Sometimes you just flash this in too because you just need a blocker. You just need something on the board, so card is very good. Okay, sweet. Then we get into the instance. So 13. We have 3 Counter Squalls. I could not resist throwing Counter Squall in here because it's great. I mean, anyone goes to try to kill your creatures, anyone tries to lightning bolt to your face or your creature. Anyone goes to blow up the board and you don't want it to happen, any sort of thing like that, and they lose 2 life. Like, come on, guys, this card is just all around fantastic. One of the most underrated cards in my opinion. I'm in love with Counter Squall. Okay, I talked about this card in my modern cards that are overrated, so I'm kind of a liar, but not really, because I think it works in this deck. I just hate when people run Cryptic Command in like 5 color decks. I'm like, what are you doing? Cryptic Command, I really like it in this deck. I mean, I hate this card, but I like it in this deck, if that makes sense. You counter target spell, fantastic. Bounce a permanent, great. Also, just note it says 2 Summoner's Hand, so you can realistically bounce your Snapcaster Mage or your Vendilion Click, just saying. Tap all creatures opponent controls, sometimes come back and just be the game over or draw a card. All the modes are really great. Just keep in mind it is triple blue. I mean, if you're doing this build and you have a lot more black symbols, just be very wary of your mana base and how you're playing around with this card. I think it's totally fair in this deck though. I just don't like Cryptic Command in like 3 color plus decks. I don't like it. But in this deck, I really like it. I think it's very good. Okay, the card that everyone loves this card, Fatal Push. I mean, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm only doing 3 in here. I think it depends on your meta though. If you find Fatal Push is just even better, you know, go for it, whatever. But, this card is just so good. Like, it's just, I just, who authorized this card is what I want to know. It's just really fantastic. Realistically looking at this, I mean, what I really like about it is that permanent left the battlefield. What's really good about this is that it really synergizes well with Bitter Blossom because it doesn't say creature. You don't run a lot of creatures, you know, you're only running like 7. And I guess realistically if you have one of your Una tokens or whatever, but you don't run a lot of creatures. So Fatal Pushing, you know, for that permanent ability, you know, people are going to want to get rid of your Bitter Blossom, so you want to get that off the table. So Fatal Push is really good for that. It's just a great card, straight up. Fantastic card. Then we have 2 of Mana Leak. I mean, I like this. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to just nix Mana Leak and do counterspells to me I feel like are straight up personal preference. I mean, there's some people who like, I always forget the one card that's like converted mana costs 2. You counter it with, I always forget the name of that one, but you know, some people really like that one. I don't personally like that counterspell. I like Mana Leak. Again, I think in some matchups this can be just an easy thing to just cut out, but I do like it. It's only a 2 of in this deck. And then 3 of Remand, because you just need that draw card. So you can draw more answers and potentially bounce something back. So, yeah. Cool, then we get into sorceries. 3 of Collective Brutality. I love this card. I really do. I mean, it's really good if you want to, like, get rid of those lands that you, like, don't need, you know, for discarding things, you know, discarding away, I don't know, an extra Bitter Blossom when you're at like little to no life, or put any sort of instant sorceries in your graveyard so you can snap them back later, whatever. The card is just great. I mean, all the modes in this are fantastic. They reveal their card, choose an instant or sorcery, they discard it, creature gets -2/-2, target opponent loses 2, you gain 2. I mean, really, I think that is the most important thing. I'm just going to say the most important mode in this probably is the last mode, just because you're potentially going to be losing a lot of life from Bitter Blossom, so you want things to gain life. That's why this card is like 3 in there. The whole discarding cards, I mean, you're not doing too much with your graveyard other than Snapcaster Mage and like the Liliana, which we'll talk about in a bit, but I mean, yeah, just straight for that mode. I mean, other than that, this card's like straight fire. It's great. Okay, then 3 of Inquisition of Kozilek. Again, I've said before, I mean, people have personal preferences where they like Inquisition or Thoughtseize. I don't like Thoughtseize in this build, though. I have very strong feelings because you're gonna lose life from Bitter Blossom. Just be very wary of that when you're doing this. I would honestly suggest Inquisition of Kozilek. Anything that you can't get with Inquisition, you probably have an answer for somewhere in this deck. You can probably deal with it somewhere else. But Thoughtseize in this build, total no-no for me. I just don't think you can afford it cost-wise for your life. Also, too, I just want to say, in my, I should have mentioned this before, actually, I only run 2 Watery Graves, I only run 2 Shocklands in this build, because you have to be so careful, your life total is so precious, and you have to be very careful that you're not taking too much damage, so. I know some people probably do the, I always forget the name of them, they're like the ones that, like, the slow lands or whatever, I don't know what people are calling them, but the ones, like, they enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands, like all those, you know, you can just be playing around with the mana base and see what works, but, yeah. Serum Visions. I'm I'm not going to say anything about this card. Just Serum Visions, yeah. Okay, I've been talking about this all video, but Bitter Blossom. Card is great. I only run 3 of, and I'm just going to say that because I think you could run 4, but I think, again, you have to be just super wary of your life total. And also, Bitter Blossom is kind of a weird card where sometimes later on in the game, it can be, like, really awkward, you know, because you're like, oh, I only have, like, 7 life left, I can't afford to play another Bitter Blossom, which is why, again, Collective Brutality is really good in this deck, too, because you can get rid of those Bitter Blossoms that you don't need. But yeah, Bitter Blossom, I really like it, but I can't bring myself to push and run it as a 4 of. So many people disagree, so many people think you need to run 4 of in this deck. And you know what, your point in this is to stall the board out. It's to get the board, you know, to a very calm state, and then to just kill them with your Creeping Tar Pit, your creatures, and your Bitter Blossom, and the tokens that Bitter Blossom makes, you know what I mean? So, you know, you're not running like bolts that you can rely on or anything like that. You're just relying on, you know, getting a lot of tokens in this. Also, they have flying too. Like, come on, they're great. It's just fantastic. I've also been talking to you a lot about Liliana the Last Hope. Funny, when I actually first built this, I ran 3, but I actually knocked that down to 1. You can play around with this number. Some people may, I don't know, are some people doing the old Liliana the Veil? Really love Last Hope. Really like her first ability, really good for killing creatures. Kills their opponent's Snapcaster Mage too, just saying. Perfectly, right? Like, -2/-1, that's like perfect. It's like an anti-Jace card. Wonder if they did that on purpose. That's actually Jace card. Anti-Snapcaster Mage card, my bad. Then the second ability, probably not too relevant. I mean, it potentially can be. You can potentially get your Snapcaster Mage back, which is pretty cool. But you're not running around too much Graveyard Recursion. And then the last ability, just don't even pay attention to. You're not concerned about that ability, which is why I was like, I don't really know about upping Liliana the Last Hope. I was like, I'm not too sure about how many I want to do of her or whatever, but I think 1's a fair number. But yeah, guys, I'll list the deck in the down bar below. I'm not going to talk about sideboard today. But I have, I think, some cool things on here. I have this really card on there called Familiar's Ruse, which is a really great card. And yeah, it's a really sweet card that yeah, there's just cool stuff in my sideboard. Check it out. But yeah, guys, that was it. That was it for this blue-black Faeries build. Super fun archetype, definitely underplayed in my opinion, but I think this is like a really sweet deck. And I would, if I was playing Modern, I would like definitely, you know, tweak this deck and like play around with it. So yeah, guys, that is it. I will talk to you later. Bye.